want to speak about something before, I intend to go back to Derech Hashem, but I feel that there's certain ideas which are really very important, which I thought about, certain ideas which I have thought about lately and so on and so forth, And I want to talk about, in general, what's happening, the hashkafa of the situation of the Jews in general, what seems to be the pneumius of what's happening. And from that, there's a great deal that you can learn of the entire history of the Jews and how the Rebbe conducts himself as Klal Yisrael. There are two fundamental great aspects of the shechina. And when you really think about it, these are the main ideas. One is called Tiferes, beauty. And the other is called ois, might. Tiferes ois. And if you think about it, where do you see this? And since the shechina, that's its fundamental properties, is Tiferes and ois, which we'll understand. The shechina therefore gives that to Klal Yisrael. Because as it says that the Rosham, Shchintei, Kuch B'Ruchu, Torah, Klal Yisrael, and Eretz Yisrael is Chatu. That's the concept of an identicality. That really all four are identical at different levels, which itself is very important to understand. But there is an identicality, they're identical entities at a certain level, although they seem to manifest themselves differently. There's the Shechina, there's the Torah, there's Jews, Yisrael, and then there's Eretz Yisrael. So there are four different manifestations of really one entity. And that's the concept called an identicality. So the Shechina has Tiferes v'ois. And therefore Klal Yisrael has Tiferes v'ois. Before I go into what is it, where do you see that? Because if you take a look in Birchas HaShachar, in the morning, everything it's basically individual brachas. Ke'achevrim, in the sense that, do it for me, what do you call it, Shlo Sani Eved, Shlo Sani Goy, and so on and so forth. But it's interesting that the only time Yisrael is mentioned is Oize Yisrael b'gevura. He girds Klal Yisrael with strength, and Oite Yisrael b'sif ora. He crowns them with beauty. There you find that Yisrael is mentioned for the first time, and it's the only two brachas where Yisrael is mentioned, which is interesting. What is that? So, Oiz Yisrael b'gvur is oiz, might. And Oiti Yisrael b'sif ora is tiferez, or beauty. It's interesting. What are these things? What is tiferez and oiz? Tiferez is beauty. What is beauty? How do you define beauty? Harmony. Yeah, what beauty is you can have a bunch of fragments, and they're all fragments. But the concept of beauty is when you have many, what's called disparate fragments, and they are all blended together into a harmonious whole. It's an integration of many separate ideas into a whole. That's beauty. Beauty exists in many things. Beauty in music. What's beauty in music? You take a Beethoven symphony, there are hundreds of pages. It's hundreds and hundreds of notes. That's all they are, is individual notes. But somehow, Beethoven put them all together and into a magnificent melody where everything exactly fits. You have the melody or the tune, you have the harmony, you have the counterpoint, you have all the different things that go into making a great sounding piece of music. That's the beauty of music. Again, it's the integration of individual notes, because what's a note? Note is just a physical frequency. Physics, it's a frequency of sound. Would anybody ever think that different frequencies of sound, you think about that, that different frequencies of sound can be harmoniously blended to come out with a symphony? No. Who would have thought that? It's interesting, And I think if not for the fact that we automatically can sing, let's try to sing, right? Who would have ever thought that individual frequencies can be blended together into an incredible melody? You know, anybody ever hear of, any of beautiful, symphonic pieces or Beethoven or Mozart? It's like, wow, how did this guy figure this out? No. But that's the concept of beauty in music. What about beauty in art? Ever look at a Rembrandt? You stare at this guy and say, how in the world? I remember I was once in Holland. I was in Holland once, a long time ago. They have a special museum dedicated to Rembrandt's stuff. It's unbelievable how this guy painted. I mean, it looks real, There's certain paintings that are huge, and it looks like you're in the painting. It's incredible how he blended, colors and perspectives and all the different elements of a piece of art into something which is magnificent. And he's not the only one. There are many magnificent painters, and so on, Although that's why it's hard to understand impressionistic art, where, it's just like, it looks like if you ever go to some art stores, you say, what is that? My kid in kindergarten could do better than this. That's basically what it looks like, I'll never forget, there was a story, just show you, Picasso. You heard of Picasso? One of the greatest of his works are worth a fortune. And again, it's bizarre. A lot of his stuff is actually bizarre to look at, whatever. But he was an incredible, one of the great painters of art, whatever, and so on, So he once walked to a store and wanted to buy something. He didn't have enough money. It was Picasso. He didn't have enough money. So the guy said, I'm sorry, it costs, let's say, $100,000, okay? Picasso only had what? $20, He said, no problem, okay. So he went to the art department, right? He buys a little canvas, some paint, and right on the spot, he just painted it, and this is Picasso, And that's it, he sold it for $10,000. I mean, it's like, it's, he needed money, wow. It was better than counterfeiting. He didn't have to print the money, he just created his own art and so on, But there's incredible beauty in art. So that's beauty again, where all the different elements come together and so on, right? That's also beauty, Sometimes you look at a beautiful face, same idea, where everything is symmetrical, in that sense, same idea. And then there's beauty in wisdom, chokhmah. What's beauty in chokhmah? Structure. A structure is the composite. What do you say?
She knew what to answer.
You know what to answer. Well, what's a classic example of beauty in chokhmah? This year. You're supposed to laugh at that. We all of a sudden, instead of the ideas being fragmented, they are all put together. You see, in a beauty, I can't use the word if I'm defining it, into a harmonious blend. You see, that's beauty of chokhmah. Now that's tiferes, beauty. What's oiz? Oiti Yisrael b'sifora, and oiz Yisrael b'gvura. What is oiz? Oiz is might, but it doesn't mean necessarily military might. What it means is hatzlocha, potency, the ability to do, to get it done. Implementation, whether it be on the battlefield, whether it be in business, the ability to get done what you want to do is oiz. That's might. And Klal Yisrael has that. What's that?
How about the mission because is a gibor, hakovish is self-control, right?
Well, that's also might. It's implementation that you don't want to give it to the Yetzer Hara, right? And that's also same. It's potency is a good word. Potency means the ability to do, or to implement, or to carry out your wishes. You see, so that's where the word impotent comes from, not the ability to do and so on. But this is the concept of oiz, might. Why? Because if you think about it, because the shechina has both things. The shechina has tiferes, beauty. In fact, that's its essential nature. Is that the shechina is the essential reality. The shechina is the totality or the unification of all ideas. All reality is organized, structured in the shechina. So that's the Tiferes of the shechina. And the shechina also has ois, kol yochel. Baruch can do whatever he wants. That's the greatest of all the ois. So those two aspects, because of the identicality of Klal Yisrael and the shechina, we have that also. We have Tiferes and ois. Very interesting idea that this is what we have. Tiferes and ois.
We just don't notice them.
What?
We just don't notice them. Where are they?
That is a very good question. What happened? That's what I want to talk about. And then we begin to understand what's happening with Klal Yisrael. Okay, so we have Tiferes and ois, which the shechina has, and because of the identicality, Klal Yisrael also has that in addition. And we see that from those two psukim. Great. Now, what's important also to understand is that ultimately this is the messianic properties. The essential concept of a Mashiach is Tiferes v'ois. That's the essential properties or characteristics of the Mashiach. Where do you see this? Well, we just learned v'zois ha-bracha, right? Chumash, v'zois ha-bracha. A very interesting pasuk in v'zois ha-bracha that really reflects this. Who was the Mashiach that first brings down these ideas? Mashiach ben Yosef. He is the one that has Tiferes v'ois. As we will see, it's restored to Klal Yisrael. Where do you see this? Because Moshe Rabbeinu, what does Moshe Rabbeinu say when he's talking about the brach of Yosef? B'chol shoyroi hodoloi, the firstborn of his ox, beauty is his, hodoloi, right? V'kani re'eim kanov, and the horns of this ox is not the horns of the ox, it rather has the horns of a re'eim. Kani re'eim kanov, the horns of a re'eim, those are the horns of this ox. Ubehem, and with these horns, amim yenagach, he's going to gore the nations. Now, obviously, Jews don't have horns. That's one who made that mistake. Was Michelangelo when he put horns on Moshe Rabbeinu, because it says Kikaron Oponov. So Karen means horn. So he put horns on Moshe Rabbeinu. That's mamish in the Sistine Chapel. Anyway, his horns and so on. But what does that mean? So this really is an allegory or a metaphor. It's really what it is that reveals a tremendous idea. B'chol shoyroi, the firstborn, who is Shor? Shor is the symbol of Yosef. Shoyroi is Yosef. So the firstborn of Yosef. Who is the firstborn of Yosef? Clearly refers to an unbelievably powerful figure. Who is that? The firstborn of Yosef is the Mashiach ben Yosef. That's who we're talking about. So, B'chol shoyroi, the Mashiach ben Yosef, hodoloi, is beautiful. Now, clearly, Moshe Rabbeinu is not referring to him being handsome, right? That's not what you look on in a Mashiach, right? But what Moshe Rabbeinu is referring to, the two fundamental properties of the shechina, which become the fundamental properties of the Mashiach himself, which become the fundamental properties of Klal Yisrael. Tiferes v'ois. So, hodoloi is beautiful. What does that mean? Wherein lies the beauty of the Mashiach ben Yosef? I know it's late, but everybody's tired here. Need some coffee. Caffeine kick. Where is the beauty of the Mashiach ben Yosef? So it says there, V'kani re'eim kanov. The horns of the re'eim is the horns of this ox. What's the problem? Because the horns of an ox are powerful. Because the ox, you ever see an ox's shoulders? I mean, what a beast. It's an incredible animal, Very powerful, especially, we're talking about a bull, not a cow. We're talking about a bull, you see the shoulders and the power of the ox and so on. So normally, you ever see the horns of an ox? It's short. It's short, but that's it. So it's not beautiful, but it's very powerful. So what the pasuk says is that the horns of the Mashiach ben Yosef, if you want to use that, of this ox, isn't powerful. It's magnificent, hodoloi, beautiful. And with these horns, he will go the nations. So the question is, what does it mean that the horns of the Mashiach ben Yosef is beautiful, like the horns of a ra'im? You ever see the horns of a ra'im, antlers, or a deer, or a goat? Some of the horns are magnificent to look at, how they come out and twist with symmetry on both sides. I mean, they have this stuff on the museums, They say, wow, how does an animal even have that? Those kind of horns. But anyway, clearly it says that the horns of the Ra'im are the horns of Mashiach ben Yosef. What does that mean? Let's take a look at the metaphor. What are the horns of an animal? What are they used for? They're used for what? They're used as weapons, right? Horns of an animal are used as weapons. Where do these weapons of an animal emanate from? His head. So what's the weapons of the Mashiach ben Yosef? It's not horns, it's chokhmah. And where does the chokhmah emanate from? His head. That's tiferez. What the pasuk is saying, that the weapons of the Mashiach ben Yosef, how he's going to get his job done, is chokhmah with incredible tiferez, beauty. What's chokhmah? What's the tiferez of the Mashiach ben Yosef? Right? That is the concept of tiferez, where all of a sudden the Mashiach ben Yosef is able to tie everything together. Physics, science, teva, with Kabbalah, everything. He's able to bring it down into one unbelievable design where then everything is connected. You see, that's his koyach, the revelation of an unbelievable architectural plans and grand design of the Bria. See, right now you do a mitzvah, you don't know what it does. Put on film, you don't know what it does. Imagine walking into a room, you see a switch on the wall, you flip it, but nothing happens. But why would anybody have designed a switch on a wall if nothing happens? Clearly something has to happen. Problem is, we're not privy to see what happens. You see, there's no unification of information or knowledge. It's all kinds of fragmentation. But what the Mashiach ben Yosef does is he's megala, he reveals the incredible achdus, harmony of the Bria. That is called beauty. So hodoloi, beautiful. And what's he going to do with this Tiferes? He's going to go the nations.
Does that take away Bechir?
Of
Because
who?
obviously we don't have that yet.
Who? Take away the
That
who?
enlightened from the Mashiach.
What was that?
That ha'ara, that what the Mashiach brings.
Yeah, that or.
That or takes
Yeah.
away from our Bechir in a way, because obviously we don't have that right now.
Well, when he does it, it will take away from Abachir. That's true.
It will.
Yeah. I mean, the information is so staggering that you can't deny. It just it just stares you in the face. Yeah. Well, that's how he's Amim Yenagach, right? It says Ubehem Amim Yenagach, but he's going to gore, metaphor of an ox, the nations. What does that mean? He's going to punch holes into these guys. That's what usually the horns punch holes into a guy, right? He's going to punch holes into the entire system of what? Of understanding reality. That's what he's going to do. They have an understanding of reality, right? Whether it be science or whatever. He's going to punch holes into that by revealing a system which not only shows that their system is deficient, but he's going to bring all the rest of the information in it. So what he does is he reveals ultimate reality. That's what he does. Or I should say a better word than ultimate reality is total reality. That's what the Mashiach ben Yosef does. He's megala total reality, not partial reality. We live in a world of partial reality revelation. We don't see it. We live in a fog. You walk through a fog. All of a sudden you don't see anything. All of a sudden a little spot here is a little less foggy, so you see something. Here it's a little less foggy, but basically you're walking in a fog. What he does is the fog lifts, and you're stunned by the sight of what you see. You ever walk into an incredible garden in the middle of a fog, and all of a sudden the fog lifts and say, wow, I didn't know I was in this kind of place. This place is incredible. That's what the Mashiach ben Yosef does. He lifts the fog, and all of a sudden you see all reality. So that's Tiferes. But that tiferes is so stunning that it punches holes to everybody else's understanding of reality. So that's what the pasuk says. It's an allusion to the Mashiach ben Yosef, what his weapons are and how they work. Not bad. It's unbelievable. That's really what the Gilui is. That's the mystery of that pasuk. You see. So again, so what does he have? What's a central characteristic of Mashiach ben Yosef? Tiferes and Ois. That's the tremendous idea of what the Mashiach does. Tiferes and Ois. Everybody got that? So Tiferes and Ois isn't stama cute. It is the fundamental characteristic of the shechina itself, and it is the weapons of Mashiach ben Yosef, and it is the gift to Klal Yisrael. That's what it is. You see, Tiferes and Ois. So, at this point in time, we are confronted with an incredible mystery. What is that mystery? It's what you mentioned. Where is it? Where is it? I don't say the tiferes. Let's not kid ourselves. We don't see the tiferes. If we really had the tiferes, nobody would leave yeshiva. Nobody. People would not drop out. You know? And all the goyim would run to us. On the contrary, what do we see? Not only they're not running to us, guys leave yeshiva. They're not interested at all. They're bored. Whatever's happening, it's tragic in many ways, and so on and so forth. Talk about at-risk kids, nothing to do with it, and so on. Where is the tiferes v'yoyis? So that's the question. Whatever happened to this tiferes v'yoyis?
Too much kashrus.
Well, that's certainly one of the
It's like the
reasons.
fog. It's like
Yeah, that's certainly one of the ideas. Yeah, but the question is, where is it? What happened to it? What happened to the central gifts of Klal Yisrael? You know, what does it say? Shame was tiferes, when the Baruch says that he wants to give tiferes, that's the Ois. The Baruch says that you will have there's your wisdom and chokhmah and so on, you know. And shameless tiferes, that Moshe will give us renown and beautiful tiferes, you know. The real question is, where is this stuff? Why is it concealed? Whatever happened? And so on. Well, a key to the solution, or the mystery, is a certain pasuk that we say. It says, Ad mosai uscha bashvi v'sif'atcha b'yatzor. How long will your might be in captivity? V'sif'atcha, and your beauty b'yatzor, in the hands of the enemy. What is the pasuk saying? That tiferes v'ois is no longer here. Where is it? It's in the hands of captivity, and it's in the hands of the enemy, being used against us. So the question is, what does that mean? That means we can locate tiferes v'ois. We have to look at the enemy. We have to look at what captivity is. You see, that's where it is. Why is it there? Because that's where it belongs when we deserve the enemy and we deserve the captivity. So this has to be analyzed. The whole concept of tiferes v'ois b'yatzor, that we have really lost it. But not only have we lost it, it's not that we lost it and we can't find it. No, it's been usurped. It's been stolen by, and therefore it's in captivity, and it's in the hands of the enemy. You see. In fact, it says nishmas. It's a lotion here. It's kind of similar. Then you begin to notice that there are all kinds of references, you know, to all this kind of stuff, you know. But if you look at nishmas, Matzel oni mechozik mimenu, that the Moshe saves the poor man from somebody who's stronger than him, V'oni v'evyoin migoizloi, and he saves the oni and the evyoin, Gazlan, you know? Who is the Gazlan? And who's the one who's stronger? And the answer is, the Gazlan is the Satan. The Satan has stolen our Tiferes noise. So he's the Gazlan. And then the question, of course, is, what does that mean? So for that, we need to understand certain ideas, which I had mentioned before, and which is a very important idea. What does the Rebbe want us to do? He wants us to bring down or Kedusha. And that Kedusha will perfect the Bria. That Kedusha will mazakech, will purify the physical world or plane of existence and to turn it into a ruchnistic place. So when we do a mitzvah or we do Ratzon HaBorei, we bring down a tremendous kind of Kedusha. And that Kedusha is then put away as a credit. So when the time comes that the world can receive a purification, we will purify the Bria. But what happens if we do an Avera? We know that the Kedusha is given to the Satan. It's a trade-off. It's not like we stop the Kedusha from coming down. No. We alter or rechannel the Kedusha to another being. And from that, he gains power. So what happens is, that's the concept of Yenika, Yoinek. The Satan is Yoinek from our Kedusha. He derives unbelievable strength from our Kedusha. So when we sin, instead of us getting it, who gets it? The Satan.
So there's two negatives. If someone does an Avera, they're creating Zoma, a negative force, and the bank of Kedusha, there's a withdrawal that goes to the Satan also?
Yes, but first,
Two deficits.
which goes first? The first is that the Satan is unique from the Kedusha. That energizes him, and therefore he's able to Zoyama, put the Zoyama in you. Because without the force, without the power, what does he have? Right? So what happens is he derives the energy to do the Zoyama. And that energy is what we give him because of the loss of Kedusha, because of our sins. So two things happen, as you point out. One is that he doubles up.
Takes Kedusha out of the world.
And then he energizes him, and therefore he produces Zoyama to the Bria, which is an enormous defilement, tumah, or evil into the Bria. That's called the Tiferes, the great strengthening of evil. And the interesting thing is the Satan, I think I once mentioned, is the only one that grows. Only a Jew can grow, or mankind can grow, right? Or the Satan can grow. Nor the Malach can grow. And the reason why he can grow is because he can take from our Kedusha, right, and grow. That's what does it. All of the Malachs are stable at the level they were created. He's the only one that can increase his stature and grow. So therefore, if that's the case, that presents Klal Yisrael with a tremendous difficulty. If the Satan can take from our Kedusha and grow, what exactly is the manifestation of that taking? What is it? We need coffee here.
He's getting all the Tiferes.
Who?
Satan is getting all the Tiferes.
Yes, Oiz Tiferes. Exactly. That's what he takes. Oiz Tiferes. If that's what we have, Oiz Tiferes, and we lose it, which means you give him the koyach, and he has, right? Then he takes the Oiz Tiferes. Or Tiferes v'Oiz. That's what it means. Ad Mosai Uscheh Bashvi, v'Sevat B'Yatzor. See, we therefore have a relationship with the Satan. We give him our gifts, where we do chatoim. So therefore, instead of us having Tiferes v'Oiz, where is it Tiferes Oiz? In captivity. Where in captivity is it? It's in his captivity, it's by him. You see, so he has Tiferes v'Oiz. That's incredible. We have given him the greatest gifts of all, the gifts of the shechina, tiferes v'ois. What is tiferes? A magnificence and chokhmah, reality. And what's the ois? Potency, the ability to do, hatzlacha, success. He's got it. You see? Interesting formula. You know where you see this clearly? You see this in Echa. What does it say? Soreha u'malkeha bagoyim. Echa says this. Soreha, her princes, u'malkeha, and our kings, bagoyim, are amongst the goyim. Right? That's because the first place Hamikdash was destroyed. So Soreha u'malkeha, the princes and the kings, they're bagoyim. Ain't Torah. There's no Torah. And even the prophets do not see any more prophecy or visions from the Baruch Shalom. Do you see Tiferes and Ois there? Do you? You don't see it.
What a melech and a sar is usually.
Of course, that's Ois. Our kings and our princes, they have the Ois, don't they? Well, doesn't the king have power, might, the ability to command, name? Who's got it? The Goyim. It's been taken away from our princes and our what? And our kings by Goyim. That they now are in the Goyim, which means that the Goyim can command, not us. They're yours ois. That's Bashvi. Right? Admosai Uscha Bashvi. There it is, you're looking at it. Ain't Torah. There's no Torah. What do you mean no Torah? What is the Torah for us? Tiferes, beauty, isn't it? And the prophets had no visions. What did a prophet see? Unbelievable Tiferes. And Novi saw reality in its incredible beauty. That's what they saw. A Nevuah is reality. It's the greatest reality that has ever been revealed to man. The Torah is the reality. But the Novi sees the Torah in an unbelievable vision. Right? So what does Yirmiyahu say? Ain't Torah. There's no Torah anymore. And also the prophets don't see anything. Which means that Tiferes is now also Bagoyim. There you are. That pasuk is Magal, reveals the terrible tragedy of Klal Yisrael. When the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, what happened? The Tiferes v'Ois went to the Goyim. Or they first went to the Sultan, and then he gives it to the Goyim. Is not the Beis Hamikdash? What was the Beis Hamikdash? What was it? It was a Makom of the shechina. Does that not have Tiferes v'Ois? When you walk, did you ever see a picture of the temple? It was the greatest, most beautiful edifice in the entire world when it stood. If you ever saw the temple of Herod, which is the Beis Hamikdash Sheni, it was magnificent. It was incredible. Gold walls and ornaments, and, you know. If you ever see a model of the Beis Hamikdash? It was the greatest structure, most beautiful structure in the entire Middle East, if not the world, at the time. You went to Jerusalem, and there was this humongous, the ulam, the walls, was incredible to watch, you know, and the walls they were like pinkish, they had gold lined, I mean, it was an incredible, stunning edifice. Tiferes. And of course, the shechina was there. Is the shechina not Tiferes? Right? You felt the incredible presence of God. And the ois, the shechina, you saw miracles of Teva, 10 ongoing miracles. That was the Tiferes and ois of the Beis Hamikdash. So Yirmiyahu says it's gone. That Tiferes and ois is now by the Goyim. See, so that's a very important idea, that our Tiferes and ois goes to the Goyim, because it goes to the Sultan, then it goes to the Goyim. You see, and that's our gifts. Very important.
So how's it manifest with the Goyim? In their holidays, in their unity, or how's it manifest?
Who rules the world? Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, right? That's Tiferes V'Ois. That's incredible Ois, science. What goes on, technology, you know, they have the Tiferes and Ois. You ever walk by, I think I once said this, I once drove to Long Branch, in New Jersey, in Monmouth, whatever. You know, there's a college called Monmouth College. It's a nobody college. I mean, you know, that's magnificent. I mean, you can't believe the campus. It's a nobody college, yet their campus puts to shame anything we've got. The campus and the buildings. I'm not even talking about Harvard or Stanford or MIT or any of these places. Or the you know, the Ivy Towers of wisdom and so on and so forth. It's magnificent, you know. You know, I'm talking about Monmouth College. Like, what's Monmouth? Forget about Monmouth College. You ever check out over here? What's the name of that college again?
Georgian County.
No, Georgian Court. Georgian Court, right? It's a women's college, unless they became men
Used to
too.
be.
It's now men too?
Undergraduates co-ed.
Oh, now it's co-ed?
Yeah.
You ever walk, you walk by, oh, what a campus. You know, can you imagine if Lakewood had that campus? You know, it's beautiful, it's huge, it's large. You know, this is Tiferes V'Ois. They have that. They rule. Their religions rule. Their science, their chokhmah, their pretenses to the chokhmah is incredible. That's our Tiferes V'Ois in their hands. You know, you really want to experience Tiferes V'Ois? Walk down Fifth Avenue, Manhattan. Just walk down Manhattan. Just take a look at the skyscrapers, the beauty, the shops. I mean, this is incredible. Check out Paris, London, you know, Rome, or the unbelievable faces of civilization. Beauty is magnificent. You know what I'm saying? And then compare that to Tel Aviv. You know, I must say it's nothing compared to, but you know, that fanem, as they say in Yiddish, that chokhmah, that Tiferes, it's in the hands of the goyim, not in our hands. You see. So this is a very important concept. The origin of Tiferes V'Ois from the shechina, Klal Yisrael, Tiferes V'Ois. What Tiferes V'Ois really is, as you now when you say the brachas in the morning, right? Oizi Yisrael b'gvura, right? Oiti Yisrael b'sifora. You're now going to understand what it means, you see. And then the understanding of what that is, and the fact that it's not in our hands, it goes to the Satan and its manifestation. The real thing we have to understand is, what does all this mean, really, to the golus? What is golus, really? What does this all mean in terms of the hashkafa? How does it relate to us? And what is the attitude of the Rebbeinu Shalom to the fact that they have the Tiferes V'Ois and we don't? So therefore, this year will be continued next week. Because I'm going to go to the second part B, which is what does the shechina say about all this? And why is this? What does it all mean? And so on. But first is the principle of Tiferes V'Ois. And you see Mashiach ben Yosef use that Tiferes V'Ois to bring the Geula itself. So ultimately means we get it back. You see, where Klal Yisrael will become the Ois. Right now, who's the Ois? America. You know, and Israel has to kowtow to America, to Obama, to these guys. We have to shake, right? And what does Obama say? It's just beyond belief. The power that Western civilization, look at Europe what it's doing. Europe wants to deny anywhere in Israel that has anything to do with what they call the territories before 1967. It's beyond belief. No more grants to anybody that's in Shomron, you know, the Yehuda and Shomron and so on and so forth. This is they have the ois, they have the might, they have the hatzlacha, and so on, you know. So what does all that mean? You know, so next week I want to continue that.
Does it tie in the
And then I want to go into what I was machadish when I went to see Kever Yosef. I went to Shechem. What a place. You know Shechem? Shechem. Right? Shechem is in the...
Go to Kever Yosef? I thought it was too dangerous.
No, so what happened was, I'll tell you what happened. It's incredible, you know. We took an army escort to Shechem. That was really interesting, you know. But on the way there, I had a whole insight into the premise of Yosef and why he's buried in Shechem. you know. So the tour guide, so I said to the tour guide, you know, he was just saying, well, you know, Shem was founded here and this and that. He's giving me the history. I said, maybe you want to hear some Mashkofo too? She says, okay. So I gave a shir, which I was mechadish on the way,
Nice.
you know, to the premius of Shem, of Kever Yosef, and why he's buried here in the first place, and why the Arabs took it over immediately after the Intifada. I was the first thing to go about the Intifada, Shem, and so on. What it all means. I gave that shir, so, and this is combined with this shir, Tiferes V'yois, of that shir. So,
How does it tie in that the greatest percentage of scientific development come from Jews within the Goyish world?
yeah, that's true. One third of all Nobel laureates are Jews. The Jews number 1/4 of the world's population. That's staggering. 1/4, maybe it's even less by now, of the world's population, right? Probably less now, because now there's over 7 billion people on the planet. Yet 1/3 of what mankind considers the greatest achievement, intellectual achievements, is the Nobel Prize. Jews took away 1/3 of that.
They said they had a study that there's Jews are less than 1%, less than 2%, 1%, 2% of America. But the Western House Science
Sphere.
scholarships, project award winners,
Yeah.
over 50% with Jewish kids.
50%. Yeah. And you know who the next one's coming up. It's not the Americans, it's the Japanese or the Chinese, or they're, you know. You know what they're learning now in South Korea? You know that, Gemara. Because and they're smart. They said, we don't understand something. How is it possible that the Jews walk away with all this? I mean, there's nobody there. I mean, why does anybody even think about the Jews? You know? There are more Taliban than there are Jews in the world. There are more than 15 million Talibans, the greatest tribe of all. And there's only, 13 million Jews? So why does anybody think about Jews? You know the Zulus? There are more Zulus than there are Jews. When was the last time you heard anything about the Zulus? You never heard about the Zulus. Never. So how can people that number 15 or 13 million people, which is less than 1/4 of the world's population, how can they be in the newspapers every single day? Every day. It's like what is going? Would it be? Make sense? It doesn't make sense.
That's what the Nazis.
What?
The Nazis had that problem.
Yeah. What's going on here?
They couldn't do it.
Running the world.
We gotta get rid of these guys.
Yeah, and not only that, you know, we got rid of them. You know, it's I get a kick out of that. You know, and I love you ever go to Rome?
No.
No, you guys got to travel. The Ark of Triumph, which is Titus's Ark, right? So if you go there, you look. You ever see the Roman Forum, the ancient Rome? You know, it's in the Rome. You know, so check out Rome. You know, you go to Rome, and then there's a part of Rome called the ancient Roman Forum. That was Rome. So some of the buildings are still standing. I mean, there's real pillars, magnificent architecture. But basically, the whole place is a churva. It's all destroyed, you know. And here's this arch that still stands. I mean, it's like the biggest comedy, you know. Here's the arch that Titus built because he wanted to commemorate and glorify the might of Rome over the Jews. And in there, you can see the famous fresco of the candelabra, the menorah. It's got a menorah there. It's, you know, whatever, you know, because that was his triumph, you know. And then you look around the Roman Forum, and it's like a churva. You know, it looks like it's only a drop better than what the World Trade Center looked like after they bombed it. You know, So you look at this guy and say, you know, what in the world is going on? This guy commemorated the victory over the Jews, which he thought was the ultimate destruction of the Jews. Yet, and here's the monument to prove it. Yet I'm looking at the Roman Forum, which is an absolute churva. Like, what kind of a mockery is this of Rome? It's like God is laughing. Ha ha. You know, you're putting up a commemoration of the destruction of the Jews, Le'olam Voed, and you guys, you want to find, anybody want to look for a real Roman? You got to dig up 7 feet to uncover his body and so, you know. It's the biggest, like, you know, it's like, it's ironic, you know, because that's where it all is. That's where it all is. And the Nazis are machshemon. These guys wanted to have a 1,000-year Reich, as Hitler said. It even less more than 7 years. That was it. And that's the end of it, you finish, you know. And the Jews are surviving, they're flourishing, and so on and so forth. That's the age-old mystery, you know, that even Mark Twain didn't understand. What is behind the existence of the Jew? They
Shechina
never
the
go.
golus, we still have a little bit of shechina giving us to survive.
For your Afapi, even though they're in golus, loima astim. And see, that's the answer to your question. Loima astim. That's why, even though we still have some of the tiferez and oyes, the Russian didn't completely abandon us because the Torah says, of Afapi, even though they're in the lands of the foreigners and so on, loima astim.
Here's a good chakira.
I won't, despise them to destroy them. They'll still have a me'ain of what they have. and
The
so on.
Jewish Nobel laureates, did they get their tiferez and eyes from the shechina that's directed towards the Yidden or the ones towards the Goyim?
That's a good question. I believe probably it's both. Because unfortunately, most of us guys are fried.
They're all frying, except for that.
Well, not all. I mean, what's his name?
That
That one guy.
Game theory.
Game theory. He was a former guy, Ullman.
Oh man, yeah. But
He went to my school, by the way. And he had the same teacher we had. Never, whatever. And so on, But that's a good question. But I would imagine, I think the answer would be, is that either God gives it directly to the Jews, or if it goes to the Goyim, then it still has to channel into a Jew.
Matzah minas minai.
Yeah, exactly. In other words, even though the Sultan has the koyach of the Tiferes and Oyes, but the permission is, but the Jews got to invent the invention. He's got to do it, So it's like, it's like you think about the greatest figures in history, right? Freud. Freud was Jewish. Karl Marx, unfortunately, was Jewish. You want communism, and you talk about what do you call it? Then Einstein, classic, and so on. I once read even the guy who started Wall Street, the concept of the stock market. He was also Jewish. In 17-something, I forgot his name. It's unbelievable. But it sounds like where the Sultan has it first views, but if you're going to get it out, it's got to go through a Yid. He's the guy. He's the one who has to invent and give it to mankind. And you see that so many different in physics, in mathematics, so many Jews and so on. And you see in entertainment, all the entertainment celebrities, or Warner Brothers, or Metro Goldwyn, MGM, they're all Yidden. And so on.
The birth of America.
Even Charlie Chaplin's father was Jewish, I think. He wasn't Jewish, but and there are many actors today that are Jewish. You'd never believe it. They hide their names but many of them are
A
Yidden.
very interesting article. The Constitution, Declaration of Independence, they deliberately took concepts from the Torah, what they called the Old Testament.
Yeah. In fact, they wanted to have not English. They wanted to have Hebrew as a spoken language. Anyway, next week here, 9:30.